According to a report by CNN, a hacker collective operating under the name FlamingChina has allegedly compromised the China National Supercomputing Center in Tianjin. The breached dataset is said to exceed 10 petabytes and contains highly sensitive material, including classified defense documents, missile schematics, and an extensive array of technical files. In addition, the data reportedly features animated simulations and rendered visualizations of advanced defense systems, alongside research spanning fields such as aerospace engineering, bioinformatics, and fusion modeling. The dataset is believed to be linked to Tianjin's National Supercomputing Center, NSCC, a critical high-performance computing hub that provides infrastructure and services to more than 6,000 clients across China. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why FlamingChina data breach is a big setback for Chinese military. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. On February 6th, a Telegram user operating under the alias FlamingChina released a small portion of the dataset. Cybersecurity analyst Mark Hofer subsequently examined the material and established contact with someone asserting responsibility for the intrusion. This individual claimed that initial entry was achieved through a breached VPN domain, after which a botnet was deployed to systematically extract, download, and archive the data over a period of roughly 6 months. The actor behind the breach is reportedly marketing selective samples of the dataset for several $1,000s, while offering complete access for sums reaching into the hundreds of thousands, with transactions conducted exclusively in cryptocurrency. Dakota Carey, a consultant at cybersecurity company SentinelOne, told CNN, "They're exactly what I would expect to see from the supercomputing center. You would use supercomputer centers for large computational tasks. The swath of samples that the sellers put out kind of really speaks to the breadth of customers that the supercomputing center had." He noted some files were reportedly marked secret in Chinese and included technical documents, simulations, and renderings of defense equipment. If the claims regarding the breached supercomputer are accurate, the leaked dataset could be linked to several prominent Chinese institutions, including the Aviation Industry Corporation of China, the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China, and the National University of Defense Technology. "10 petabytes is 10,000 terabytes, and 1 terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. To put 10 petabytes, PB, into perspective, consider this. It's roughly equivalent to about 2 to 3 million HD movies, assuming approximately 4 to 5 gigabytes per movie. If you watch them back to back without stopping, it would take over 10,000 years to get through the entire collection. To give viewers a perspective, while estimates vary by region and format, the entire Netflix catalog is estimated to be roughly 1 to 3 petabytes of unique content. This means 10 petabytes could comfortably hold the entire Netflix global library 3 to 5 times over, even accounting for different streaming resolutions. For another perspective, if 100 million photos, each 4 megabytes in size, are uploaded per day, then 10 petabytes would enable about 68 to 70 years of continuous photo uploads. In more technical infrastructure terms, a typical modern data center rack might hold a few hundred terabytes. Reaching 10 petabytes would require dozens of fully populated enterprise storage racks, underscoring just how massive this volume of data really is. There are two notable ironies in this development. China has invested in alternative financial channels, including yuan-based systems and crypto mechanisms, to reduce reliance on the US dollar, particularly in strategically sensitive regions like Hormuz. Yet the same decentralized technologies are now being leveraged by hostile actors to circumvent Chinese state controls, enabling the sale of highly classified military data to any buyer with a digital wallet. In this context, Blockchain infrastructure functions as a neutral conduit, facilitating both sovereign financial maneuvering and the commodification of espionage without distinction. Another aspect is that China, which has been hacking others, is now at the receiving end. U.S. intelligence evaluations have indicated that China carried out an extensive cyber espionage operation aimed at American defense contractors and government systems, extracting in excess of 50 terabytes of highly sensitive data. Among the material reportedly accessed was information tied to the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, including aspects of its stealth architecture, sensor suite, and propulsion systems. The National Security Agency assessed that the campaign involved more than 30,000 intrusion attempts, with over 500 incidents categorized as major breaches impacting United States Department of Defense networks. In aggregate, the operation is believed to have compromised upwards of 1,600 computers and exposed at least 600,000 user accounts. Reports further suggest that the accessed data included technical specifications of the AN/APG-81 radar, a key component of the aircraft's advanced sensor capabilities. Additional information is believed to have covered critical low observable features, such as thermal regulation strategies, turbine cooling processes, and design treatments applied to engine edges to minimize radar and infrared signatures. The potential exposure of these elements prompted concern within U.S. defense circles, as such knowledge could undermine the aircraft's operational advantages in stealth and integrated sensor performance. China's hacking apparatus is composed of dozens of specialized groups known as advanced persistent threats. These units are generally linked to either the People's Liberation Army or the Ministry of State Security. The timing of this incident is particularly unfavorable for Xi Jinping and the broader Chinese military establishment, as it coincides with signs of internal strain across key defense institutions. In recent developments, the Chinese Academy of Sciences removed the online profile of Yang Wei, the chief designer of the Chengdu J-20, rendering his biography inaccessible on official platforms. Yang, a central figure in the development of China's most advanced fifth-generation fighter and a former senior executive at the Aviation Industry Corporation of China, appears to have been affected by an ongoing and expanding anti-corruption campaign within China's military-industrial complex. Parallel to these developments, there have been reports suggesting that domestic radar systems have used the J-20 as a benchmark platform for assessing stealth characteristics, with indications that the aircraft may be detectable under certain operational conditions, raising questions about its survivability in contested environments. Compounding these concerns, the PLA rocket force has previously undergone significant leadership purges, with multiple senior leaders removed amid corruption investigations. Collectively, these developments point to a period of heightened internal disruption within China's defense establishment, intersecting uncomfortably with external security challenges such as the reported data breach. If the reported breach of Tianjin's National Supercomputing Center is accurate, the implications for China are significant across military, technological, and strategic domains. The exposure could compromise sensitive defense programs, including missile development, advanced simulations, and next-generation aerospace research. Such a leak risks eroding China's technological edge by enabling adversaries to analyze, replicate, or counter critical systems at a fraction of the original development cost. At a systemic level, the breach exposes vulnerabilities in China's high-performance computing and cyber defense architecture, potentially undermining confidence among thousands of domestic clients reliant on National Supercomputing Center infrastructure. Strategically, it represents a reversal of roles for a state long associated with large-scale cyber espionage, reinforcing the reality that its own networks are equally susceptible. Finally, the monetization of stolen data via cryptocurrency highlights a structural weakness. The same tools China has explored to bypass external financial pressure can be weaponized against it, facilitating the global dissemination of highly classified material beyond the reach of state control.